So the Packers do it. They finish 13-3 again. Matt LaFleur for the second time wins the Central, goes 13-3 back-to-back years, is now 26-6 as a head coach of the Green Bay Packers, has lost one divisional game, that game earlier in the year to the Vikings. So he went 6-0 in his first year, 5-1 in his second year against the division, and they take care of business. They win against the Bears today, 35-16, in a game that really, to me, is the epitome of the Packers in 2020, right? The defense continues to play better, and the defense forced field goals and turnovers today to minimize the long drives that they gave up. And when the game starts, right, the epitome of the Packers, and the Bears drive 7 minutes, score a touchdown, go up 7-0, right? The frustration over the Packers' inability to stop the run, getting off the field on third down, all those things that have creeped into your mind because of the way the defense played early in the year, versus, again, if you watched the game, you looked at the stats, right, they're a top 10 defense right now. They're the 8th ranked defense in football. This is now the third game in a row that they've given up less than 17 points. 17 points, if that's what they gave up on the year, they'd be the number one defense in football, right? Most teams right now, good defenses, right, the range in points per game is about 21 to 24 points, right? There's a couple teams that are outliers that are in that like 19 to 20 range, the best defenses in football, right? The Packers have been really good the last 3 weeks. So regardless of the long drive, think of then with the efficiency of the offense and the way the offense is playing and the pressure that it puts on a team when they respond, have their own 7-minute drive, score at the beginning of the second quarter to tie the game up, the pressure that puts back on the Bears, who get stopped by the Packer defense and are forced to punt in their second time with the ball. Okay. Now, Packers make their first big mistake of the game. Tavon Austin fumbles, Bears recover, but patent defense again. While I may give up yards, may give up time of possession, we're going to keep everything in front of us. We're going to be patient, force a field goal. So now the Bears are up 10-7, and you knew field goals aren't going to beat the Packers. Okay. So again, people want to say, well, run the ball against the Packers. Packers can't stop the run. Packers can't stop the run. The truth is offense don't commit to running the ball long enough. And when you run the ball, right, you have to be perfect on your possessions, right? A 14-play drive that the Bears have to kick off the game, a lot of things can go wrong in that drive. You can have penalties, right? You can have a sack, right? You can have a first down run where you get a yard, you get 2 yards. Now you're in second and long, puts you in a different position where maybe you're less likely to run the ball. That's what the Packers want. The Packers want you in passing situations so they can play Rashawn Gary, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and whoever else, right? And get after you pass rushing, right? That's you're playing into what Mike Pettin wants, right? So the Bears capitalize on the mistake, but the Packers, again, with the pressure of that offense, hit a big play, 73-yard touchdown to MVS. They go up 14-10. They end up going up 21-10, right? And now the pressure is really starting to mount, because do you commit to having David Montgomery just keep running the ball and taking your play action shots and doing your boots and waggles, right? That's the pressure the Packers offense puts on other teams, right? And ultimately, they end up kicking a field goal again at the end of the half. The Packers go into halftime up 21-13, and really, if it's not for an MVS drop on the first drive on a surefire touchdown that would have put the Packers up 28-13, the game's probably over, right? That drop, and then the Packers not scoring, and then the Packers having to punt, and then having to punt again on their next drive, really allowed the Bears to stay in the game, who get a field goal in the third quarter, and make the game a 21-16 game going into the fourth. Now, championship teams, championship fourth quarter, Packers win the fourth quarter 14-0. Again, the Bears had success moving the ball, but when the Bears needed to make a play on a 4th and short, right, they rolled out on a sprint out pass and threw an out route to Allen Robinson that was defended really, really well. Packers get off the field. Packers score a touchdown. Packers go up 28-16 on an Aaron Jones run. Trubisky ends up throwing an interception. Packers eventually go up 35-16. And again, the pressure, because 3 field goals on 3 long drives netted you 9 points and still down 21-16. Packers go 3 for 3 on their first 3 drives, score 3 touchdowns. That 21 points held up against the Bears all the way into the fourth quarter. So the Bears made it interesting, right? Packers get the 4th down stop, and then they run away in the fourth quarter, end up winning 35-16. But again, that pressure and the efficiency of the Packers offense, and again, more than anything, them getting in the end zone. When people want to worry about the Packers and they want to say, well, their special teams might hurt them in the playoffs, or they can't stop the run, or I don't know if Mike Pettin, you can make up any excuse and why the Packers could lose the game. And there are reasons they could lose the game, right? They don't seem like a team that's going to end up turning the ball over and lose the turnover battle, right? Now, that is a reason they lost the Buccaneers game. That is a reason they lost the Colts game, but it seems less likely that would happen. It seems like in a game where the other team can control the line of scrimmage, can run the ball effectively, can play action and hit shot plays off of that. Biggest thing that hurt the Bears, obviously, is being forced to kick field goals and the Packers defense winning those 3rd downs. But what hurt them more than anything is the ability to only really hit one play down the field to Darryl Mooney on a 54-yard play where really Darnell Savage misplays the ball in the air. It's actually good coverage. Darnell Savage misplays the ball. You have to be able to benefit from the run game with the plays that you can make in your boot and waggle game, right? And you see it with the Packers, right? Packers want to run the ball, no doubt about it. But the Packers want to run the ball to hit their flat route and their crosses, and then eventually hit a post to MVS, right? Like, you have to be able to do those things, and you have to put the ball in the end zone. Now, what would worry me in a playoff game? What are the things you really should look for? Inefficient offense. If they are not as productive on 3rd down as they have been all year, right? If they're forced to settle for field goals and not put the ball in the end zone, they could be in trouble, right? They absolutely could be in trouble. You flip a couple of those drives and the Packers are forced to settle for field goals. Game looks completely different. Situations are different in that game. So again, the efficiency of the offense, the pressure the offense puts on the other team, they're 13-3. I mean, they're efficient. They're really good. They're really talented, and they're diverse. They find ways to get people open. They can run the ball. They can play action. They can take shots. And right now, I don't know if anyone's playing better football than Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. It's just a reality of it. And those 2 guys alone are beating teams, right? But if the ball doesn't make it into the end zone consistently, and you're giving up 7-yard drives, and you don't force field goals, that's a recipe where they could lose in a close game in the playoffs. So they're the 1 seed. They're getting the bye. This is your instant reaction from the Football First podcast. We're going to do these essentially after every game. They're going to be up right after the game Monday morning so that you have something to digest. You can Monday morning quarterback it yourself. You can tell me I'm wrong, right, whatever. Comment on the video below on Facebook. You're going to find these on our Facebook page for Football First podcast. We'll do full episodes so that we'll release on Wednesdays. We'll have guests. We'll have Chad join us. And we'll do a preview probably that we'll have up every Friday before the game. But this week, the Packers are off. So enjoy this video. Enjoy the episode that we release on Wednesday. We will have a ton of draft news. We'll preview the playoffs. But the Packers are off. So you're not going to get a Friday video to preview the opponent because there is no opponent. You'll see that the next week. And you're going to see more prospect videos as we get closer to the draft. Videos where I take a prospect, break them down, tell you my thoughts on their fit with the Packers, if they would select them in 2021 in the draft in late April. So the offseason will be filled with free agency draft material. But for now, champions. NFC North champions, first round by number 1 seed. Super Bowl runs through Lambeau. Packers are going to most likely, right, have to play the Buccaneers if the Buccaneers win. But they'll have them at Lambeau. And Tom Brady in January against this Packers team. I think the revenge tour starts in a week. So enjoy the video. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter. And if you like these episodes, you like these videos, share them. Help people find the Football First podcast anywhere that you find podcasts, but also find these videos for the instant content that we try to get out to you each and every week.